found this game in a dual combo on sale with another game I was looking at, Omen Sight. And so I thought, for $10, 2 games that sound like fun, why not? So, for anyone who wants to take a dive into the niche underbelly of the gaming world, sit back, relax, and enjoy. Alright.
Once upon a time, the infamous rover Reynoldo plundered the floating isles. Then his mother called him to her deathbed. "Swear to me that you won't die on the gallows," she rasped. Reluctantly, he swore. And he whiled away his days at home with music, cards, and wine. But the Emperor had changed. He'd been good once, a shy, almost humble toad. He'd built universities. Then people started whispering about mass graves in the woods.
Oh.
Midnight rituals, victims screaming. The Imperial Ravens would round up entire villages, and no one ever returned. The Ravens had come to Ubar scouting for ancient books said to be of great power. But the librarians had hidden the books, so they'd burnt the librarians. The citizens, outraged, had driven them off. The Ravens had come back with dropships. The kid had fled with one of those books. He was brave and dumb and wanted to join the rebellion.
Yeah.
Reynoldo had promised his mother he'd protect him.
Not a hero, just a guy who protects a hero. Alright, pretty decent premise so far. From the trailer, this looked to be a roguelike action RPG.
The kid
affair.
was looking down, watching his city burn. "Sorry, kid," Reynoldo told the kid. "Look, if we give them the book, they'll leave you alone." "My mother died for this book!" "I promised her I'd protect you." Oh, damn it. The kid had run off. With the book, of course. So Reynoldo had to run after him.
Using the left analog stick. Congratulations. Look, didn't even have to prompt me. I just kind of figured it out.
The two ravens were staring at the kid like he was their dinner, which probably was what was in their tiny brains. "Hey," Reynoldo said. They cocked their heads at him. "Pick on someone as ugly as you." Wait, that didn't come out right. "For the Emperor!" The ravens cawed and rushed at him.
I could have guessed X was my main attack. This kind of game is always X. Nice. It's a bit of a Batman Shadow of Mordor feel to it. Okay.
A dropship flew overhead. He hoped they hadn't noticed him. The kid.
Okay. Throw things. Aha!
Oh, right. The Gate of Heroes. Someone's idea of a joke, making the Skyship Docks a gated community. You needed a hero's sword to open it. And the kid was on the other side of the gate. Who let you through? Promise me you'll take the book to the rebels, or I'm gonna steal your ship. I'm not taking that damn book anywhere, and neither are you. Try and stop me, laughed the kid. I bet you don't even have a hero sword. And with that, the kid hopped away. Had to hand it to the kid. He was an idiot, but he had guts. Where was Reynoldo going to get a hero sword?
I don't know. It's just gonna figure. Maybe this treasure chest.
And wind essence? That sounds about right. I'll need a workshop that... Perfect.
Aha! So I can craft things. Got some stuff, yeah. Select certain, yeah. Cool. Excellent.
A hero sword. QED.
Cool. Oh, I can also heal him. I'll need 30 more for that. Aha! Now with a hero sword, this door will be...
This is what he got for settling down
surmounted.
and finding people to care about. The kid's mum had been a swell cook, and she'd laugh at Reynaldo's jokes, even when he didn't know he'd made one. And then the ravens had come to burn her. And she'd made him promise to protect the kid. But she never told him where the book was. Just the kid. He came up to a ledge. It was too far to jump. There'd been a bridge here before, hadn't there? And there was Peter, giggling at him. "How'd you get across?" he asked the kid. "Where'd you find a hook?" "I hopped," said the kid. Wise-ass kid.
Yeah,
"Hey,
why is that?
look out behind you!" "Phew," said Reynaldo. Ah, ravens. It was time to talk some sense into the kid. Just hook his way across the ledge and chase the kid down. Thing was, he hadn't used his hook since he'd retired. How had he done it? Maybe if he meditated at that altar there, he'd remember his old skills.
But of course. Each time you gain a level, you also gain a skill point. Alright. So, skills. Got them. Okay. Let's grab the hook.
It was starting to come back to him. Something you never completely forgot, like how to freeze time when attacking. The more he fought, the more he'd probably remember.
Excellent. No points available. Next, I think we're gonna have to learn how to dash. Thank God for meditation altars. Woo! Sweet. Whee! That's a satisfying game
There was
mechanic.
the Farfarer. She was the fastest ship he'd ever known. She could do the Kestra run in 12 furlongs. Oh, so the salesman had told him. And something told him the kid was about to walk into an ambush. "Stop!" he shouted. "I'm not giving you the book!" shouted the kid, and took off.
No,
"No,
kid.
Peter!" The kid ran for it,
Uh-oh.
and a goggler nailed him with its eye beam.
Uh-oh. Got it. Oof. It's gross. You slice them in half. Peter!
The book was unburned. Next to it were the buckles from the kid's shoes, and a kid-sized pile of ashes. Damn it. Why hadn't he lied and told the kid he'd take the book to the rebels? The kid would be alive now. Really pissed off and betrayed, but alive. Oh, damn it. Reynaldo picked up the book. He couldn't let the Empire have it now. He was going to have to get it out of there. He'd be a wanted man.
Yeah.
Probably have to join the rebellion just for the place to dock. Well, he'd hated home life anyway.
I can break boxes. I don't need health. Ready? No more ore. Sorry, kid. Rip.
What was the big deal about this book anyway?
Yeah.
Maybe he should open it and find out.
Uh-oh.
All that had been years ago. How many? The war was a blur. And now 3 Raven scout ships were chasing him. "Where are you running, rebel?" cawed the Raven captain over the loud hailer. Reynaldo could see them cranking up their catapults. "Just going out for milk?" Reynaldo yelled back. Where can you run? Laughed the raven horribly. Far behind him, another city was burning. The dark cloud above its island was thousands of Imperial ships. The fleet was doing a thorough job.
Take us to the rebel base, and we'll spare your life!
It cawed. The entire jury-rigged rebel fleet was only a few islands to the east. Beyond that were only the pillars of heaven. A sea of endless blood-colored tornadoes. The rebellion was out of time. Unless Reynoldo could bring a game-changer. Maybe he could. Reynoldo had found out where he could find the pieces of the Sky Ripper.
Yes,
The legendary weapon that had exiled the lost gods. Surely a legendary weapon could win the final battle.
Surely.
On the other hand, his old friend Lapino had sent Reynoldo a desperate message saying he had a brilliant scheme to save the rebellion. If Reynoldo could only rescue him. Reynoldo dived the Farfarer towards the abyss. As he felt the heat of the jet stream, the Raven ships peeled off, not stable enough to follow him down there. Now it was time to choose. Lapino or the Sky Ripper?
Sorry, Lapino.
Ah,
I have to
Lapino.
choose you.
Apparently, the Mad Rabbit had sold a Pegasus that he did not exactly own. Lapino always wiggled out of trouble, given time. But he was out of time. The Ravens had figured out that Lapino was a rebel spy. If the fleet reached him first, they'd string him up for that. Never mind the winged horse.
Ooh, Lapino.
Lapino had apparently managed to confuse the judge by arguing that he hadn't actually stolen a winged horse. He'd only sold it. But where was the prison? The village was empty. Had everybody fled the Ravens?
All right. Woohoo! Yeah. All right. What kind of tomforgery can I craft today? Gems. Well, damn it. I don't have any gems. Fjord. Okay. Okay. Well, I can't do shit. Let's go. Alright. So clearly there are decisions that you make throughout the course of your adventure that greatly affect the outcome, it looks like. Or changes the story, or something different. I'm intrigued by this notion.
Reynoldo had always wanted a flying car. This was more like a flying table. Could it do?
Uh-oh. Alright.
The Ravens had taken the town. Reynoldo had seen villages emptied like this. All the people taken away to be sacrificed in the Emperor's secret rituals. Reynoldo hoped the people were just hiding.
This stuff's dark.
Reynoldo's blood was up. He just needed to smash something.
Okay. Fire sword. I see. So each of the swords I get will have a distinct flavor. Yeah, smash something. I don't understand. Oops. Oh yeah, I have to be at an altered skill.
Ooh, if only it's some kind of magic fire sword.
Yes, if only. Oh, hey, there's a path I didn't see before. Still no skill points. But soon, one day. Ooh, a hero sword door. I can use that. Treasure.
This chest was filled with old concert t-shirts. And something useful.
Haha. I kind of like the writing in this. I guess it would have to hold up. It's good to be clever. Instead of watching the harrowing journey down the void, describing it. Very imaginative. These developers are growing on me. I like them. Haha! Show me your
Ravens were landing everywhere. The advance guard. He'd better get moving. If they got to Lupino first, they'd eat him for breakfast. Or a snack. Ravens weren't picky. If they got hungry, they sometimes forgot to interrogate their prisoners. Even top spies like Lupino. Where had the mad rabbit got to?
You know, in case I need the health. More ore! More ore! I don't need health, I need upgrades. Alright. Treasure chest path. I like treasure chests. Gimme, gimme. Yeah. Ooh. More essences. Good. Need a bunch of fire before I ever get to use that door. Maybe it's intentionally doing that to me. It shows me a door I can't possibly open for a while. And once I actually get the fire sword, then suddenly I open a branching path in the narrative. Kind of has that time travel-y Majora's Mask, Radiant Historia. There's a reference. If anyone's ever played Radiant Historia, I'm assuming the book mechanic is a lot like that. So far, less free flow. More make a decision. I'll tell you how it works out later. Oh, wait. Hey there.
Nara felt like he was ready to learn new things.
I am.
Thank goodness he didn't have to go to school. It was starting to come back to him. Something you never completely forgot. Like how to freeze time when attacking. The more he fought, the more he'd probably remember.
Aha!
But surprisingly, unwounded.
Yes. Combo time. dens. There's maximum health. Uh-oh. Cool. But I'm not quite there yet. Starting to think I need the purple sword for this. I don't see a crafting table in the house.
Shall we just agree to disagree? Said Reynoldo. No?
I got hit for the first time. Imperfect. Oh man. I don't get nearly as much. They want me to be good. I can do that. I also okay, up. I'll talk to the next altar. It's the last altar. It's so far away now.
Dirty
Oh, hey.
and bloody, Reynoldo finally reached Lapino. The rabbit was practicing his shuffle. Reynoldo recognized the cards. It was Lapino's favorite deck. Oh, I thought you were in danger. I am. The ravens are coming. Oh, the prison thing. Right, yeah, we see this guard owed me 53 ducats, so we made a deal. They're very reasonable people, actually, for weasels. Now, I got a brilliant plan to kidnap Zenobia.
We capture Zenobia, we find out what she knows, and that's the whole war right there. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy.
Capture the Emperor's greatest general, who also happened to be a deadly sorcerer and, oh, his only daughter? That would be worth it. On the other hand, he could still get to the core of the Sky Ripper, even if he couldn't get the whole thing. It must have great power.
I don't know. That sounds like a brilliant plan, Lapino. Let's kidnap her.
Zenobia wasn't just the Emperor's daughter, of course. She'd been Reynaldo's best friend in Sword Fu School. And you're still mad for her, the rabbit reminded him. They'd been close. She'd told him things no one else knew. But she'd never told him who she really was.
She knows all the Emperor's plans, chuckled the master spy.
She won't give them up easily,
She'll tell the interrogators, all right.
said Lapino. Taking her would change the game, all right.
See what they did there? Changing the game.
The
Cool.
city was already under Zenobia's control. I had to admire her efficiency. Reynaldo shivered at the thought of Zenobia at the mercy of the interrogators. Could he really turn her over to them? But this was war. It wasn't meant to be pretty.
Ooh, yes. Once exploring an area before you.
I wonder what I could make with all these sword crafting materials, thought Reynaldo.
Maybe a sword? Whee! Pretty environments, too. No, the cabbages. Dead animals everywhere.
Hero wall, hero sword, ice wall, ice cube.
Ha ha ha. Yeah, 300 bonus for perfect. Do you move? Oh. Oh. Slice. Perfect. More stuff! Yes. This game is so far thoroughly satisfying. Alright. Gotta get rid of these eyeballs.
You blinked.
Alright. Eyeballs covering each other. Not enough. Alright. Uh-oh. Lupino. Is that you? Oh.
So, what's this plan of yours?
Use me as bait.
Said Lupino. And he outlined a slightly complicated plan that involved geese, a net, setting the Farfarer a little bit on fire, an old blind toad, and Reynoldo hiding inside a monstrous watermelon. What could possibly go wrong? Thought Reynoldo.
Not the time for hair-brained schemes.
Go ahead. I'm sure you know better, said Lupino.
Oh boy.
A crafting bench. Reynoldo wondered what he could make with it.
Still can't make a void blade, can't make the winter's I can make the firestorm. Yeah. Hold right trigger to activate magic swords. Switch. Excellent. Cool. Fortunately, I did not have enough for the void sword there, bud. Ah, hey, Alter. Just looking for you.
He'd missed his old skills. He welcomed them back like it was at a
Attack
reunion.
immediately when the previous attack hits to land a perfect strike. So use more timing. Haha! Nice. Thank God I played all those Batman Arkham games. And the Middle-earth games. Prince of Persia. Assassin's Creed. How many games use this combat mechanic? Very well executed, though. I like the feeling. I can feel the hits, you know? Like it's...
Reynoldo slinked through Zenobia's ship with no sound at all. Where were her guards? Finally, he reached her bedroom. She was curled up at her bed. Oh, he'd forgotten how beautiful she was. How sleek. How soft. He tapped her on the shoulder with his sword. She became smoke. And he noticed he had a blade to his throat. Stay a while. Heard a familiar voice.
Oh,
Did
no.
you really think you could capture me? Zenobia said as the ship lifted off. Now I just wanted some privacy. Reynoldo said, did you ever wonder why the Emperor adopted you? And he told her why. His Imperial Majesty wanted to bring the lost gods back. They could make him immortal. But to seal the bargain, he needed a sacrifice. Someone who truly loved him. You're lying. She was furious. I can't prove that. I can. And so, they set sail for the Nexus.
Haha.
The scientists at the
proved
observatory
it's
have
just
resurrected
a
one of his victims. Well, he's not exactly alive, but he can talk, and he can't lie. You
Yeah.
took a big risk. You know, I could just cast a spell to make you tell me where the rebel base is. And you wouldn't consider that cheating? She frowned. Ugh, fine. Let's go get your witness.
The weird dynamic
The
between me and
rebellion
the
had
sorcerer
started
girlfriend
after
cat thing.
atrocities that the Empire hushed up. Reynoldo had rescued a priest whose order had been massacred for one book. He had slept in a burnt village. Dead kittens and puppies had come to tell him what the Emperor had done to them. Who needed bridges anyway?
Style acceptable. You're acceptable. Chest. This is acceptable.
Reynoldo wondered what he could make with all this ore and essence. Oh, right. Probably a sword.
I have made swords. Boop. I still don't have a void sword. I don't think I need the altar right now. Alright. Let's, Whoa! Ah, you hit me! No!
Reynoldo had learned so much. It was time to turn it into something he could use.
Back to the altar. Time. Take a breath, figure it out. Cool. So slow down time when I do these perfect attacks. So when two of them attack at once, I can navigate that. Yeah! Breakable stuff.
He was practically sure he'd find something useful in one of these things.
Okay, so energy. Use it. Woo! Oh man! The world is crumbling before me. Ah!
Caught up. All right, out with it, he said. He sent his ravens to search for an ancient crystal. Something called the Iblis Stone. Iblis. Isn't he one of the lost gods? He shivered. A stone dedicated to one of the lost gods. Oh, that could give great power. But what would the god demand in return?
Fair question. Treasure. Excellent. Later, Gator. Oh, I just went right through that crystal. It's okay. Like it has some small gripes, but it's like reminiscent of a high-definition PS2 game. You know, feels like I'm playing something kind of old and new at the same time. It's a very comfortable play.
Reynoldo had been searching for a way to save the rebellion. Lapina wanted to capture and interrogate Zenobia. But if he could show her proof of her father's madness, maybe she would join the rebellion.
Maybe. All right, not even close.
Reynoldo wondered what would happen if he jumped. Would he be rescued by an emergency platform?
Ow. Yeesh. Ow! Apples. Now I need the apples. Slow down, time my butt. Oh no!
Guess now I find out what's next, he thought.
Oh, thank God. Alright. Cowards.
Really dangerous, effective cowards.
Dang it. Imperfect. Imperfect. I'm imperfect. There's like an achievement for being perfection. I never, ever attain it. Easy. Done the trigger while pressing the buttons. Alright, let's do this next section. Ugh, creepy eyeball of death.
The observatory was a burning hulk.
Oh, the
Dead
observatory.
scientists and black feathers everywhere. The Ravens had taken care to burn the reanimated witness to cinders. Zenobia stared around, shocked. The scientists had been neutral. They had no part in the rebellion. Take me to your council, she said, shaken. I have things to tell them. It was what Reynoldo had gambled on. The Zenobia would turn against her father once she knew his madness. But the rebel base was secret. Could he really risk taking the Emperor's daughter there?
She could destroy everything. Take her to the secret base or not. Let's trust her.
Reynoldo reached Lapino by Far Speaker Toad, the one creature the Ravens had left alive at the observatory. I'll meet up with you at the base, Lapino said through the Toad. Good thinking. Reynoldo gave him the coordinates. There's a shuttle here I can borrow. Reynoldo found Zenobia in the chart room. I've been having awful dreams, she said. Dead kittens and worse. I thought they were only dreams, you know. Why would anyone want the lost gods back? In those days, the favorite of a god could become immortal. She held herself and shivered. He wants to become an eater of souls. Well, I'm not afraid of dying.
That's a terrible.
Just dying of boredom. Reynoldo said, but she didn't laugh. Silence fell as they flew towards the ruins of the city of Ubar, where the rebellion leadership was hiding. If Zenobia couldn't help them fight off her father, no one could.
Alright.
As they touched the ground, he could smell the ravens and hear their hungry caws in the distance. They're probably looking for me, she said. You go on ahead. She had that fiery look in her eyes that he'd always loved. It was a bit odd, though. How easy she'd been to convince. It was what he'd gambled on, but he'd expected more of an argument. She'd always loved to argue. She considered it the fastest way to the truth. Maybe she'd long suspected the truth. Sometimes all it took was taking the bandages from your eyes. That must be it, he told himself. It was definitely easier to fight inanimate objects.
Gotta save up like 2 or 3 now. Hope what they earned more. Yes. I don't need energy, man. I need help. Yes, I get it. I'll use this chapter. I swear. I'll use.
There was an inscription.
Sorry.
No spitting.
Aw, man. Excellent. More ore. Oh, come on, really? Maybe 50 for the... Ever. Is this progress? Is this? Okay, birds.
Ravens didn't smell any better dead, Reynoldo thought.
Aha. Ooh, yes, the ore I needed. Ooh, look, tons of energy. Wow. Slow workbench. Do this. Yeah. Ooh.
Hey! Hey! I'm a firefox, thought Reynoldo.
Treasure. More ore. Don't have voids. Much right there. Let's just see quick. Ah! It's just down here. Nothing back in here. Ah! Aha! Perfect, ninja.
They caught their breath under a ruined arch. It's beautiful, she said. This was the library of Ubar, he said. Your father's ravens thought they had an ancient book. She nodded. Was she crying? This was exactly what I wanted, Reynoldo thought. To turn her to our cause. So, why do I feel something is terribly wrong? Because nothing ever goes this smoothly, is why.
Yes, treasure. Alright. Nothing ever goes this smoothly. Whoop.
Say goodnight, Gracie, said Reynoldo, wondering who Gracie was.
I don't even know who Gracie is. Okay. Murder the things, activate the thing. Simple stealth sections. Like it. Very easy. Avoid the cone. At all costs, avoid the cone. Oh no. The cone hurts. Just gotta slice them all. Slice them all. Oh no.
Huh? That was new. Most people still use doorknobs. The long stairs. So he was close to the rebel base. Nothing was on fire. So far, so good.
I think I lost my perfect bonus and I'm match. Oh, I know I lost my perfect bonus and I'm match. Except. Dang it. Okay. Activate the thing. Chain. Awesome.
Council toads swarmed around Zenobia. Shocked she was there. Shocked she had changed sides. Then, the walls exploded. He heard toads croaking, "Oh, the ravens!"
Yep.
Blackbirds were pouring through holes everywhere. "It's a trap!" cried the council speaker. In the confusion, he saw flashes of magic. Then Zenobia being hustled off by Imperial troops. So, she had betrayed him after all. Reynoldo
man.
ran for his ship. The Farfarer flew into the clouds, barely losing the Imperial ravens pursuing him. The rebellion was lost, and he had lost it. There was nothing to do but find Zenobia and make her pay for her treachery. His heart ached. He still loved her. But he had trusted her, and he had been a fool. She would be back at the fleet, gloating with her mad, bloodthirsty father. For all Reynoldo knew, she was helping him bring back the old lost gods back from their exile. Reynoldo landed in the middle of the Imperial fleet. The rebels were losing badly. Without leadership, it was a slaughter. Reynoldo felt strangely free, trying not to think about how he had lost the war. Trying not to think about how he had loved Zenobia, blinded himself to her treachery. That's what it meant to be a hero. To keep on fighting after the most bitter of betrayals. to never know if you could trust anyone. Cats. What a waste of fur.
The hatred of cats I don't necessarily agree with, but dang, that's dramatic. Nope, don't have the sword for that.
Reynoldo knew the raw power he had gained could be molded into greatness.
No, it can't. Can't mold nothing to greatness, man. Why you give me this? Oh, I can put it into something first. I see. So, increase stamina, increase health. Compel your enemy on your sword and grab him. Less damage. Oh, I don't grab nearly enough.
Every day he was getting better and better.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Ah, come on.
Where did that go to?
Blah 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 blah. Come on, man. There's too many dudes. Fine. I can do this. A little bit more health. Ah, boy. Oh, come on. How did I get hit?
That was fun. Let's do this again sometime.
Alright. Still remember I got the treasure? Yeah. Not enough breakable objects, man. I need some breakable objects, man. Ah, yes.
He found a Superman issue #1 in mint condition in a jar he'd broken. He planned to keep breaking things until he had the whole series.
You know it. Alright. Yeah. Woo. Oh man. Jesus.
So this was what it was like to die. Not nearly as much fun as they said.
Eh. Almost perfect. It's not perfect enough. Alright. Yes. Smash
Renata
that.
felt a little better.
Man, this sword takes a lot of work to get up. Game really doesn't want you to get hit. Alright. Yeah, we're doing it. Combo breaker. 60 hit combo. Yeah, I haven't really been mentioning all the achievements I've been getting, but I've been popping
What had
achievements like
happened to the
crazy.
hero?
A nice
And the
steady
Mad Rabbit
pace
fled
for
to
doing
safety,
things I naturally just
Only
did in the
forlornly
game.
carrying on like the few rebels Renata could see here or there. It didn't matter anymore. All there was slash and spin, parry and lunge, over and over as he fought his way across the fleet. All there was finding the girl he'd once loved, who had used his love against him and putting as big a hole in her heart as she'd left in his.
Alright.
Yeah!
Now, where do I go from here?
What were these poles exactly? Parking meters from the time of the lost gods?
Alright. Finally. Full health. Ah. Dang it. Style, man. Yeah, I agree with you there.
Sharp?
Ranking system.
Check. Pointy? Check. Flexible? Check. What else do you need in a sword?
Be like Super Mario dodging in all these fireballs. Aha. Yep. Purple flames. Nothing creepy about that. Bad guys, you say? Oh. Now I gotta start doing some grabs. Holding X was grab. Let's grab again. Yeah. Hold to grab. Why ain't you grabbing? I hold at X and he's just standing there looking dumb. Not a cool game. Alright. Oh, like I gotta legitimately throw him off the edge of stuff. I see. All right. Well, that's an impressive door. Ugh. Ugh.
And suddenly, Zenobia was there, advancing a Lapino. So the Mad Rabbit had survived. Save me, or I'm done for! Screamed Lapino. Zenobia turned, showing her teeth in a smile. You're alive! Reynoldo ran towards the witch. Lapino's the one who betrayed you, she shouted. He warned my father. Reynoldo sank his sword into the witch before she could fool him again. She stared at him, heartbroken. No! Lapino's the traitor! Then he felt a knife in his back. I'm afraid she's right, said the Mad Rabbit. Ain't I a stinker? Then the sun went out.
Oh no!
Okay, that was weird. He could have sworn he just died. Instead, he was on the Farfarer, sailing away from Ubar. And it was still burning. He'd fled burning Ubar years ago, hadn't he? And now he was back there. Had all those years fighting the Empire been nothing but a vision into the future? A useful vision if it was true. He'd learned something. Lapino was a traitor. Reynoldo had suspected there was something wrong with the Mad Rabbit. But now he knew there was malice behind his goofiness.
Well then, new story completed. Story number 4, The Endless Moment. What kind of hero are you? Hero who keeps on fighting even after the most bitter of betrayals. Reward some ore. Shazam. A new truth. Lapino is a traitor. Tier 2 skills unlocked. Location unlocked. Desert Temple. So to find out 4 truths about this situation, to unlock the true story, but there's like 24 different ways this can go.
He made bad choices. But now, when the real battle came, he wouldn't make those choices. He wouldn't make the same mistake twice. The book's pages began to flip backwards, towards the beginning. And he realized that his adventure was just beginning.
Yeah.
The clouds parted over the Isles of Boreas. It was time to choose. The rebellion was in trouble. Ravens were scouting for the secret rebel base. They needed a game changer. Pieces of the Sky Ripper had surfaced. Or so a scholar in the mountains had told him. Surely the weapon that banished the lost gods could defeat the Emperor. Also, a temple had risen out of empty desert. The Emperor had brought the Sky Ripper pieces up out of ancient burial by his obscene rituals. Could this be where the Iblis Stone was hidden? Someone better get it before he does, thought Reynoldo. And also, his old friend Lapino needed rescuing. Of course, Reynoldo had a pretty strong suspicion that Lapino had betrayed the rebellion. But could Reynoldo really leave an old friend to the Ravens?
So, let's start again.
Every child knew about the Sky Ripper. The Transcendent Emperor had buried its pieces. What could have brought them to light? This Emperor, Isengrim III, had once been kind, but he'd gone mad. And now he was conducting secret, obscene rituals to bring back the lost gods. Had he, somehow, summoned the long-lost components of the legendary weapon out of the deep places of the earth? It was more than Reynoldo could fathom. But if he could find a legendary weapon, he would use it.
Alright. Let's see.
As he set foot on the island, Reynoldo couldn't help feeling a bit curious. Was Lapino still waiting to be rescued? No. He was probably drinking champagne with the ravens. Did ravens drink champagne? Did rabbits? Reynoldo felt oddly thirsty, come to think of it.
Why had he chosen the Sky Ripper? Reynoldo never made plans that required constant vigilance. He was a hero. He didn't think too much. He just went with his gut and hoped it all worked out. The Sky Ripper was a long shot. He'd have to devote himself to it. No side journeys, no rescuing old friends. That was against his nature. Could he stick with it?
Alright. Well, this is where I will take a break. And I'll start up another time. Thanks for watching, folks. I hope you enjoy this found footage.